Hey, hey, hey. 1, 2, check, check. All right. Don't know why that keeps going black. All right. Can you all hear me? Give me a shout out if you can hear me. Hey, check 1, 2. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, okay, we got sound. Thanks for all being here. I'm having a little bit of weird blacking out of the second camera. It is a different camera than I'm normally using because I broke a cord, unfortunately. However, I don't know why it would be blacking out on me. That's a strange thing. So let's just see why. I'll just do ultra wide for now. And just pray for the best here. Hopefully that'll do it. But if not, unfortunately we might have to deal with one camera angle. That would be sad. Let's see. Head back over here. Let's check. And no, it's still going black and white. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go old school here and go back. Give me 1 second, everybody. This is going to be let's do FaceTime camera here. We'll do FaceTime. All right, we're gonna switch things up. I apologize for this. I'm gonna move this. Hopefully that gives you some sound. Still don't know if it is. So when I go over here, audio capture. All right, unfortunately that won't work. All right, well, I apologize everyone. We got a little bit of a weird glitch in our system here. So what happens, I suppose? Cancel. We're gonna go this route, and that is pretty dark. Oh, the struggles, my friends, the struggles. All right, well, give me 1 second. Everyone, I apologize. I'm just restarting and we'll get started. So to answer some of your questions while we're here, how many times do you do that other sequence that I created the other day? And to answer that question, really it's like a 3 times, I think would be plenty. That would cover your Surya Namaskar A and B, and you'd be done with it. No A's, no B's, just that one. However, sometimes if you just want to do it like twice and then add a Sun A prior, that's a good idea. Let me just see what other questions we have, everybody. Sounds good, good. And hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and nice to have you here. Sorry, having another technical difficulty. I broke a cable the other day and have a temporary camera and cable. That doesn't seem to be working very well, unfortunately. But we're gonna get started anyway in just a moment. So give me a moment here. All right, it is what it is, and we hope for the best. It's still doing it. I apologize, everybody. Well, I assume it's going black on you too. It's going black on me over here. But I'll give it just a second. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being here. We got another flow ahead of us. I won't, unfortunately, as you see, this one keeps going black for some reason. I won't be using this camera too much in this for our purposes, but I'll be focusing on the other one. So, I got a cable on the way to get that fixed, so I apologize. Thank you for being here, and we've got an interesting, challenging flow ahead of us. Let's get started. Start in child's pose. All right. Knees wide, arms out in front. And with your arms out in front, we're gonna manipulate the shoulders. So look at me for a second. Try to take your hands wider and sink the shoulders down with the elbows bent. So you're gonna just open up the upper back here. With the elbows down, upper back open, the armpits lifted, elbows lifted. Okay, it won't be relaxing for the upper body just yet. So see if you can be here and relax the mind with your breath. Thank you all for being in the chat. Nice to see the energy. Nice to see the conversation rolling through. It's good to see how many of you are participating. It's wonderful. Today's class is going to be a little bit of shoulder mobility required and hip opening. So we'll just start here with a few preliminary poses to make sure we get really connected to those areas of our body. Okay, you can relax the shoulders now. It should be a nice release. And come forward to all fours, hands and knees. Grip your fingers into the ground. Take a breath, arch and look up. Exhale, round the back, gaze towards your navel. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, point the feet, round. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, point and round. Inhale, arch, look up. Tuck toes, down dog. Take a few moments to pedal out the legs, bend each knee, and wag your tail side to side. Come forward to plank pose on the inhale. Hold here. Let's warm up the shoulders. Sink the chest, so retract your shoulder blades, and then push, protract the shoulder blades. Pull the ribs in. Sink the chest, retract the shoulder blades. Notice the arms are straight. Push, protract the shoulder blades. You could do this on all fours as well. One more round. Look at those lively chats, so sweet to hear. Bend the elbows and lower down. Inhale, arch the back, lift the heart up. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift the heart up. Lift the hands up. Exhale, soften. Someone said the heat is welcomed. Well, you're gonna feel it today, that's for sure. Inhale, lift the heart, hands and feet. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky on the in-breath. Bend knee, open up the hip. Enjoy a breath here. Exhale. Straight leg, square the hip on the inhale. Right foot is going to step outside of right hand. High up on the fingertips, we take a high lizard pose. Pull your feet toward each other, lift the hips and lift the heart. As you pull your feet toward each other and lift the heart up, press the ball mound of the back foot down so you feel your hip flexors back here activate. 2 more breaths. One more breath. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Forward to plank pose, inhale. Lower down, chaturanga. 3 cobras the same way. Inhale, lift the heart first. Exhale. Now the heart and the hands. Inhale, lift the chest, shoulders and hands. Exhale. Heart, hands, and feet. Inhale, heart, hands, feet. Exhale. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck your toes, exhale back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky on the inhale. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Full breath in. And out. Straight leg on the in-breath. Step outside of your hand. Come up onto your fingertips. And gather strength in the legs. So draw your feet toward one another, lifting the hips up. And lengthen the heart forward. Okay, now press your front heel down so your hips lift up. And then draw the back foot forward isometrically so you feel a rise in your hips. Okay, keeping that rise in your hips, strengthen both the front buttocks by pressing the heel down and the back hip flexors by pressing the ball mound of the back foot down. So you should feel like you're almost trying to press the ground away from you with the feet, okay? Take a full breath in and out. One more full breath in. Place the hands down, step back, down dog. Forward to plank on the inhale. Knees down, lower. Let's slide the hands wide. We'll come into our cobra positioning. Inhale, lift the front body. Soften forward, shoulders back, but ribs forward, belly relaxed. Now stretch the abdomen long. Exhale, release. Two more, warming up the spine. Inhale, lift the front body. Soften. Stretch the abdomen long. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Soften. Inhale, stretch the belly. Release. All right, hands to the ground, all fours. Tuck toes, exhale, down dog. Let's take the right leg to the sky on the in-breath. Step forward, and then find warrior one feet. So if you recall, the back heel should be where the toes are. See how this camera angle works for a second. So just whoop, out to the side, okay? Then once it's out to the side and your toes are facing forward, we'll walk to the inside for this warrior one. I'm gonna take a slightly longer stance, so shimmying the front foot forward. And then wag your tail a little to the right, okay? So a little out to the right. Let's see if we can get a good angle here. Whoop, okay? Then bow inside of the foot. So your arm is gonna be on the inside of the knee here. All right, so with the arm on the inside of the knee, then you can relax the head, draw the chin to the chest and soften. Two more breaths. Clearly we need some open hips, obviously from the start you can tell. We're gonna get deep into our hips today. All right, coming on up out of that. Woo, straighten through the front leg. Exhale and bow. Full breath in. Full breath out. Two more breaths. One more breath. All right, let's get another kind of transition here. Come onto your thumbs. Just show you real quickly. The thumb is going to be a real strong point here, okay? Make sure you're on your fingertips and your thumbs are the strong point. And from pushing down through your thumbs, round your back, get light on the feet a little bit by leaning forward into your hands, and see if you can either step or maybe hop, switch the feet and kind of delay the landing, okay? So it's just a, so just give that a shot a few times. That was a pretty heavy landing on my part. And what you do is you think about the front foot landing, and the back foot can land gracefully. Okay, after you've done a number of times and your left foot is now forward, you can pivot the back toes out. So now you're in warrior one feet in the backside there. A little bit tricky. Okay, walk your hands to the inside and see if you can get your left armpit inside the knee. Okay, and that's going to be the kind of the hip opener right there as you bow to the inside of the leg. Let's enjoy a few breaths, opening up the hips. Tuck the chin even, let the head go. All right, coming on up. Pivot the back heel up, straighten through the front leg, look forward. Exhale and bow forward. Let's enjoy 3 breaths. Slow and steady. All right, bend the front knee. Switch again, hop, switch sides. Okay, rise up this time, high lunge, inhale. Open up, warrior two. All right, let's get connected to the movement of our arms. And the way you'll do that is by starting with external rotation. So palms facing up. That's actually not external rotation at all. That's just rotating the palms as here. So bend your elbows. Notice how you can keep your arm bone exactly where it is, but turn the palms down and up. This is called a radial ulnar joint that we have in our forearms that allows us to pronate and supinate the forearms. Now, it's not the same as external rotation and internal rotation of the upper arm. So we want to get used to the difference, because when the arms are up here and out to the side, we could think we're moving our upper arm bones, but really we're moving the radial ulnar joint, and we're not trying to do that right now. So for this round, let's just do with the arms by the sides, like you're a waiter, waitress holding a tray, or trays on both hands, okay? So on the inhale, externally rotate the arms. The hands will go out to the side. The biceps really are what we're focusing on, rotate out to the sides. Okay, so take a breath in. And then exhale, relax that like you're just gonna cross your arms. Your biceps, your arm bones face inward. Let's do a few more. Inhale. External rotation, exhale. And really try to get the strength of your external rotation. Inhale. So go elbows forward a little bit, hands back, and try to exaggerate that so your external rotators get strong. And release. We'll do 2 more, really externally rotating. One more time. Now, straighten the elbows with the arms externally rotating. Try to turn the pinkies up to the sky. So we're strengthening the external rotators because we're going to be doing internal rotation of the arm bones today, which requires that we stretch the external rotators. So we want to heat them up, warm them up, and get ourselves ready. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. External rotation of the arm bones. Inhale, reverse. Exhale. Inhale, reverse. Hands to the ground as you exhale. This time, step to plank. Actually, let's go knee to chest. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, feet a little wider. Inhale, lift the front body. Soften. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Tuck toes, exhale, down dog. Left leg to the sky on the inhale. Step forward. High lunge, rise, inhale. Open up, warrior two. Now this time we're going to do internal external rotation here. So first, go all the way. When you fully internally rotate your arms, I'm going to just use this other camera for a quick second. When you internally rotate your arms, the bicep and the shoulder climb over. That's what we're going for. So allow this rolling of the shoulder forward, okay? Rather than just kind of turning the palm, okay? So together, here we go. Inhale, internally rotate the arms. Exhale, externally rotate the arms. Inhale, internally rotate the arms. Exhale, externally rotate. Inhale, internally rotate. Roll the shoulders. Exhale, externally rotate. Shoulder blades down. Let's do a couple more. Three reverse warriors. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Exhale. All right, so let's step forward into Malasana, squat pose. Knees wide. Hello everybody. I'm not using this camera that much, obviously, because it keeps fading to black, and there it goes. Squeeze your knees into your arms until you feel your inner thigh muscles activate. And as you feel the muscles activate, lift the hips a little bit higher. Okay, keeping that, lift the gaze up. Oh, Tito's here. Two more breaths. And one more breath. Here we go. And bow forward. Fingertips to the ground. Turn the toes in. Press the backs of your legs apart and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Hands to the hips, arch the back, rise up. All right, let's warm up the shoulders. So again, external rotation, internal rotation to take the hands behind the back. So we internally rotate the arms and clasp the fingers. Now, to further internally rotate, it would be pressing the thumb side of your hands toward each other will increase internal rotation. Pressing the pinky side will balance it out and create external rotation, or at least moving in that direction. So clasp your hands by internally rotating. And then to retract the scapula, lift the shoulders up and then move your elbows together. Sometimes it's easier to retract the scapula by pressing or thinking external rotation. So think pinky side of the hands toward each other. That might help. Okay, now once you have that, try to keep it as you reach your hands back behind you, okay? And then not just back, not just like back, but like back. So not just having your hands behind you, but actually reaching back. And that should, as you reach back, it moves the shoulder heads back, stretching the pectoral muscles a little bit more, which is kind of what we're going for, okay? So reach back, opening and widening the collarbones. Two more breaths. All right, and release. Oh yeah. All right, interlace the fingers the other way. Take your hands on top of your head Shrug your shoulders up and then try to move your armpit back, right side, left side. Once they're both back, then reach the hands up to the sky. This is also internal rotation of the arm bones. When the hands are like this would be external rotation. When you do this, it's actually internal rotation. Your elbows wing out, your biceps roll in. It's probably not that important for today. It isn't that important today that you understand that, so don't worry. But in order to get this position, we're internally rotating. Just for those of you that are geeks. All right, and release. Okay, take your hand on a wall. I'll switch to, I'm not sure if this camera is good. Let's see. No, it's not good anyway. Okay, so with your hand on the wall, I'm gonna move out of the way so you can see where my hand is. Okay, you're gonna move your shoulder up. Let's see if I can transition here. Up, back, and externally rotate and just turn away to stretch the pectoral muscles. I just wanna awaken the shoulder muscles in all different directions so we have the maximum range of motion. Okay, so just turn your chest away from and you'll feel a big stretch along your biceps. Okay, just bring some fluidity into the shoulders. Switch sides, nothing too dramatic here. Shoulder goes up, back, and around. Rotate away from the wall, stretching your pectorals. So the pose we'll be doing today is going to actually require a shortening of the pectoral muscles. So far what we're doing is strengthening the back body in order to what's going to be a lengthening posture. And what that is I'd love for us to just try it right now. You take your arm out to the side like you're about to, I don't know, put yourself on like a, I don't really know what this would be. If you think of something, let me know. Okay, but then internally rotate your arms, palms down, okay? So we're gonna try this at the wall in a second, but just, this is external rotation, and this is internal rotation, okay? All binds are internally rotated, so when you take your arm around your leg, it's an internal rotation of the arm bone and a shortening of the pectoral minor and major muscles. Though we've been opening them a little bit, it's just to give the back body some strength and some shortening so that the back body craves that opening. It's a little bit of a trick for the body, but it's not direct. So now directly we're going to strengthen the internal and external rotators. The external rotators, we strengthen them by moving our elbows a little away from the wall, but pressing the hands into the wall and trying to really rotate the upper arm bone so that the biceps face back. You could walk a little bit away from the wall, keeping your hands on the wall, but your elbows forward, away from the wall. Okay, that's external rotation. And then you try to minimize a little bit of that back bend that tends to happen. Okay, now let's do the opposite. Internal rotation, which a lot of us tend to be in chronically. We don't we're not necessarily strong with it though. So I have a little shelf here, so I'm not going to cheat by relaxing into it, but you're going to try to press your palms into the wall. Oh man, press your palms into the wall. That's internal rotation, and try to move your elbows off the wall a little bit. Okay, that rotation, that internal rotation, is what we're going to be going for today. Okay, and relax. It's like a shortening of the pectoral muscles, but it's a rotation of the humerus. Okay, now there is an interesting transition that's going to be very challenging for most of us today. I have to find a way to get my microphone settled here. That transition is from Ardha Chandrasana, step forward. So first and foremost, getting into Ardha Chandrasana, we'll do it first, face the side mat, and here's what we'll do. We'll do the most basic one first, which is hand off to the right. We've done this a few times. What I do is I bend the knee and point the back foot. Do you see that? Can you try that a few times? Bend the front knee, point the back foot. This starts to shift the weight. And then I drag the back foot forward, and that's what makes it lighter and easier, okay? Same thing on the way down. Notice how far forward my front knee is when I touch the ground or when I'm about to touch the ground. You could always adjust, you know, once you're there, you can get a longer stance. So try it on both sides. So you bend the front knee, point the back foot, do that a few times, and place your hand or try to touch off on a diagonal. That's the movement, and then you drag the back foot forward. All right. Now that's stage one. Many of you are going to stay there. Okay, it's challenging enough. Stage two is significantly harder. So you know what? Before let's hold an Ardha Chandrasana first and get warmed up. Come into side angle first. Let's get the groins. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I apologize. Getting a little overzealous before we're fully warmed up. Pull your feet toward each other. Turn the belly and the chest. And slowly slide the right hand down. Now, some of you are going to prefer stillness in being here. I am personally going to stay still. But if you want some movement, you can inhale. Exhale. Do 5 of those. Otherwise, 5 breaths static. Yes, you could inhale to rise up if you like, but usually with twists is when I usually exhale to twist, and the spine tends to respond more positively. At least mine does, and I know a lot of students feel the same way once they get used to it, the reverse breath pattern, because a lot of times we're used to lifting up on an inhale, but with a twist, spine doesn't know up, it's just rotating. One more breath. All right, come on up. We're going to take the other side. Bend the knee, forearm to the thigh to start. Draw your feet inward toward each other to warm up the adductors and slide the fingertips downward to the inside of the foot. Spiral your chest by pulling your top shoulder back and rotating the spine. Take the hand up to the sky. Again, either hanging out here and focus on stability and strength and breath, or 5 rounds of movement. That would be inhale, exhale. No judgment, whichever you choose. It's just up to you and your body today. All right, rising up, switching sides. Bend the knee. Hand outside the foot this time, and start to straighten through the front leg. And when I do that, I turn, you can see it pretty clearly, turn the back toes in slightly as I come back, okay? So now, I suggest pushing from your right sit bone here down into the heel directionally, so that you feel almost like it's very just easy to be here. Not jacking the knee down into the ground like, you know, overextending that or whatever, but pushing from the sit bone into the heel like I'm trying to separate the mat. That's one way that I like. And the back heel presses out too, and that spirals the back thigh in a little bit. Turning the chest. Maybe the hand comes to the sky. We'll do 2 more breaths. Bend the front knee, rise up. Switch sides. Bend the knee, fingertips outside the foot, back behind the heel. Back toes in, back heel back slightly as you start to straighten through the front leg. And again, I like to really press from the sit bone, buttock bone, through the heel and slightly forward. That kind of gives the strength of the hamstrings and the buttocks here, where the hand is more of an accessory. And if you don't do that and you try to lift your hand up, you will strain your hamstring. So don't lift the hand up unless it feels light, okay? And I don't suggest holding it like that. Then the back hamstring presses or away from the posture. Hi, Tito. Welcome in. Okay, then turn your chest, hand to the sky. All right, bend the knee, coming on up. Let's do one more static posture. Two more actually. Bend the knees out to the sides, toes out, move the hips back, warm up the low back by moving the hips back but keeping the chest lifted. Stretch the belly, take the arms out to the side or up to the sky, your choice. Actually, you know what, let's go out to the side and externally rotate the arm bones. So we just warm up those external rotators a little bit more. Take a full breath in and out. And you know what, let's just get some more movement. 3 times together. Inhale, internally rotate the arm bones. Exhale, externally rotate. My movement was a little fast for my breath. Slowing it down. Inhale. One more. Straighten the legs, turn the toes in. Now interlace the hands behind the back, non-dominant grip, so other pinky on the outside. And when you take your arms back like this, taking your arms in this position is already an internally rotated position. So we could either accentuate that by pressing into the thumbs or balance it by pressing into the pinky edge of the hands. Depending on what phase you are in your life, in your flexibility and your strength, it may be different for each of us, okay? So which is effective. Typically, for me, when I press in the pinky side edge of the hands, that helps me retract the shoulder blades, give me a little range of motion. Now stretch the arms and bow to the inside of your legs. Let's just breathe here. One more breath. All right, release the hands. Now let's do a hard transition from side angle. You know, take a seat for a quick moment, give your legs a break. Yeah, so there's a really challenging transition from side angle pose into a interestingly balanced half moon pose that I'm going to share with you. And if it doesn't work out, just do regular half moon. It's no big deal. But this transition can really help you when we go to bind. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's going to look like this. Just watch me the first round. So the side angle variation is you're going to place your hand either on fingertips or flat palm behind the heel. And you take your left hand diagonally forward, okay, on the inside. Maybe this will help. Okay, so here you're on the inside. Hold on one second. Just like this, okay, rather than off to the side. Then you just transition into Ardha Chandrasana. Of course, I'll change the view. Okay, so watch that again. The transition requires that you lean forward with your front knee, drag the back leg up, and lift. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but my knee, probably can't tell, is bent. Okay, that keeps my torso close to my thigh. Now, for most of you, this is going to be a very hard pose to hold. Eventually, you might be able to lift this hand up off the ground, but for the most part, that index finger is going to be held there for balance. Okay. I'm going to show you on the other side just so you can see the knee is bent. So the same transition that you just did, except instead of your hand off on a diagonal, which is a lot easier and more accessible, your hand is now behind your heel and the other hand is now off on a diagonal the other direction. And all you really need to learn how to do is lean your body weight forward, then drag the back leg up. Okay? And again, you see the bottom knee is bent because that's going to keep your torso low, center of gravity low. You could straighten it, but it's very hard to maintain balance. And you kind of want the upper body to be relaxed while your lower body is fully active. I'm really pressing into my big toe and my pinky toe here to make sure that my balance in my standing leg is held. So I'm going to give you some time to practice that transition. Give my body a moment as well to release some of that. So go ahead, in case you probably need to see it one more time. Your hand goes behind the heel, behind the right side, left hand out in front. Point the back foot and shift your body weight, then drag the back foot forward until it can naturally lift up any degree. Okay, and again, that might be almost impossible. For some of you, it's gonna feel very impossible, so don't worry about it. Just give it a shot, give it a try. Give you a couple of moments to work on that and practice it. I suggest an exhale, by the way, to get into it. Couple more breaths or a couple more tries. If you haven't done the other side, do the other side. All right. Okay, let's get started on the next phase. So, I'll give you the understanding so you understand that in the transition, we're going to be doing that same thing you just did. You can watch for a second. And the major difference is you'll be bound in a moment, okay? And that bind makes it significantly harder. Okay, so to transition, okay, this pose is one of the hardest in the book, in my opinion, okay? Even though it might be accessible, doable for a lot of people to do it well and to do it like while you're breathing steady and even, most people have a significant amount of trouble with that, okay? So that's one of the transitions of two, and the other one is even more challenging. So, I don't know if the other one's more challenging. I don't want to say that. So ignore that statement. It's maybe equally as challenging. Okay, so we're going to go there, but first we have to get our binding arms ready. So for some of you, binding is just not going to be possible today. It's not like we can just masterfully get flexibility of the shoulders in an instant, right? So what you can do is grab a strap. I'm going to show you what I would do. And everybody's going to, if you've got a strap, I suggest doing this regardless. And also if you don't have a strap, you could use like a towel or something and just hold on to it. That's also a way. But if you've got a strap, you put it like about your shoulder width apart or so. And watch this. You're all going to do this in just a second. You take the strap in the right hand and you pass it around behind you. And with the left hand, you can see how I just kind of handcuff myself with the wrist. Now I roll my top shoulder back. The shoulder blade pulls towards the spine as I try to pull it apart. And then here you are in this modification of a bind. Now, of course, you can widen the strap to whatever you need. But watch, this will give you the access to coming into, that's the fast version, I apologize, to the bound Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so Let's do it together. We'll do, we're not gonna go into Ardha Chandrasana just yet. We're gonna focus on the bound postures first. So take right side forward, strap in the left hand. You can feel I'm tight. I was chopping wood yesterday, so my shoulders are feeling tight. Take the strap around. The top arm can internally rotate and bend, and then you present the loop for yourself. Okay, now you come down and take your right hand inside of the leg into the loop. Now, pull the strap apart and open your chest. If you can, scoop your tail a little bit and roll your shoulder back, and let's hold 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Last breath. All right, and come on up. Whew, yeah, okay. Baddha Parsvakonasana. Baddha means bound, so let's do the other side. 5 breaths on that side. Bend the left knee, pass the strap around, and see if you can get on in there. Get all bound up. Slide your left hand through the loop, and then pull the strap apart to roll your top shoulder back. Activating the legs, you'll notice that my back leg stays quite lifted. I don't sink down in this pose, letting gravity take hold, but I stay strong. I press the front heel down, which helps me scoop the tailbone underneath and roll the top shoulder back. I've taught this pose in detail in the other immersions, kind of how you can hold it statically and get more intense in it. The basic idea is using your left glute muscles to press through your left heel and scoop your tailbone slightly. That will rotate your hips, allowing you to open your spine or rotate your spine more. And eventually, with a little bit of shoulder flexibility, you can open your shoulders more. Now, the major difference between this and the bound posture is that this requires a little bit more pectoral flexibility of the top arm there, which I will show you how to do in binds. It is part of the last step. Okay, and then come on up. I'm gonna come a little closer because I'm gonna show you what to do in a bind, because timing is everything, okay? Let me just see if this camera, if I fixed this. I don't think I did, but let's just check. Nope, still going to black. Sorry about that, folks. I'll have it fixed before Saturday. All right, so I'll get close here. For a bind to really work, you've got to first roll the shoulder forward, okay? Like, so the arm that's binding, it's internally rotating, and the scapula here, you're gonna actually let the shoulder blade climb over. This is called upward tilt, when the shoulder blade moves forward. This is what we say not to do in chaturanga, okay? Because you're not supposed to bear weight and then have the shoulder poking out, because when you bear weight like this, the shoulder is vulnerable to a dislocation. Okay, so in this position, you're not bearing weight, you're just binding. Some people, when they come up to like postures like Birds of Paradise, the leg is so heavy and it is bearing weight in this way, and I don't suggest that. So I'm gonna show you how to get your shoulder back, but first you do have to internally rotate and get the shoulder to climb over like this first, and then you can take your hand behind your back. So just try it like that, okay? So allowing the shoulder to climb over your chest. That's called upward tilt of the scapula. I'm trying to find the best angle for you. So allow it and then rotate the arm. I'll show you on the other side. Okay, so, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at the viewfinder to kind of make sure I'm giving you a good visual. So internally rotate and then try to climb. You let the elbow go up at first to get into your maximum range. Okay, so you allow that thing. And I like to just do this little game. I tell people to like swim, okay? And once you understand that, you can then maybe try and get the palms closer together. I can't fully get that, but if you go up with your shoulders and then retract, you can get your thumbs closer together. Okay, so Let's actually just hold that for a few breaths. Let me get more settled. And release. Okay, so now we have to learn how to get the shoulder back while it's internally rotated. So the first thing we did was we did this action. We interlace the hands while internally rotated. We go shoulders up and back. Now, internally rotated while reaching back, you can pull your shoulder heads back, and that requires an opening of the pectoral. So to get into the bind, we have to allow the pectorals to shorten and take over. Then you can roll back. So let's practice that. Some of you are going to use the strap still, which helps you stay kind of open the chest more. But if you're ready, let's come into side angle. And you got to get your armpit below knee height. So get down low. Okay, now when you're low, you should be able to move your arm freely. Excuse the black for a second, but freely underneath. I'll wait for it. There we go, like this, okay? Then you let the shoulder roll forward and place the hand on your back. Same thing with the top arm. Internally rotate and place it behind your back, okay? Then once you have the internal rotation and the arms behind your back, now if you can clasp your hands or your bottom hand grabs the wrist, now you move your pelvis first, step one, scoop the tail, turn the belly, turn the chest is step two. Then peel your top shoulder head back slowly to open up the pose. Okay, that's what you do if you're gonna hold the pose. If you're gonna transition, roll the shoulder forward and look down at the ground. Okay, then you can maybe tap, or eventually you can lean and drag. We're not gonna get there just yet. Let's switch sides and work on the shoulder mechanics. Bend the knee. Okay, so get low first so your bottom arm is not compromised at all. You can internally rotate it very freely and then place it on your back. Then the top arm, internally rotate it. Let the shoulders climb over your chest. Like I showed you, the shoulders roll over and your bottom hand grabs the top wrist or clasp your fingers together. Okay, now from here, don't try to do anything with the shoulders just yet. It's all in the legs and the hips. To open this pose up, you scoop your tailbone first, then turn the belly, turn the spine. Now, once the spine is turned, your top shoulder can start to follow that action by drawing the top shoulder head back behind you, okay? You can even kind of pull your hands isometrically apart like we did with the strap. You kind of pull the strap apart. Pull your hands apart and it'll help move your shoulder head back. Okay, and then release. Meanwhile, you're getting nice deep hip opening, I'm sure. Okay, so there's this, the hard part about this is allowing your upper body to be relaxed and down there while the lower body is stable. And of course your shoulders are working. So let's say this, your torso is relaxed and softened into the pose. Your legs are stable and strong, and so are your arms. So your extremities are all working pretty hard in the pose, while your midsection, your axial skeleton, your spine is relaxed. That's hard for most of us to do. Okay, so now the big transition from side angle, bound side angle into bound Ardha Chandrasana. This is the big move today. Hope we have enough time to do the full flow. Let's just take a look. There's so many elements to this. Okay, yeah, we're just about time. So let's try bound side angle. Here we are. Now, bound Ardha Chandrasana. So all we need to do is that lean forward, point the back foot, and the shoulders roll down for this, okay? So don't try to open your shoulders in the transition. Okay, that's the key. Lean forward, point the back foot, drag, and find your strength in your front foot. Some of you might just stay right here in this position. Otherwise, you might lean forward enough that you can start to elevate the back leg up into bound Ardha Chandrasana, very hard pose. Now, step left foot next to right into Malasana, squat pose, and switch your left arm inside of the left leg and open up into Malasana stretch like so, okay? Now the hard part, once you're here, is you're gonna bind around this leg, okay? Now, open your chest. Okay, maybe a clasp instead of a bind. And here's the fun part, I know you're ready for it, is that once you get this position, you can rise up with your left knee, that's just going crazy, with your left knee into your chest. But it's very hard on the right side, so you might just stay here. Okay, that's gonna look like this. I'm gonna show you from the front side, since that camera A is not working. You gotta get the armpit really low for this, and then shift and come on up. And then you come down. You see how my torso goes forward? And then I lower down. All right. Let's, you can give that a shot. I'm gonna give you the timing of how it works out. So with your arm underneath, really pull your knee back and kind of get this bind. And then shift forward as best you can and tippy toe. Pull your left shoulder back and then pull your heel to your bum like a peacock. Maybe you come all the way upright. And then you come back down the same way like a peacock. Big toe. You want to be careful, don't reach for the foot too much because it punches the shoulder forward and that's vulnerable on the shoulder. We don't want to create any sort of dislocation. Oh man, that's the tough stuff. Okay, turn your toes in and bow forward. Full breath in. Exhale it out. Okay, let's step the right foot back and we're going to take the bind here into bound Baddha Parsvakonasana first. So get low, take the bind, drag the back foot forward. I should mention that either you have your hands in the strap or you can take your hands, completely reduce the bind altogether. And here you go. This is a great way to do it, okay? Like we did earlier. Otherwise, you come into your bound Ardha Chandrasana. Oh, it's very hard to do it in mid. And then you slowly, by the way, I'm aware this is an extremely difficult flow. Come on down and switch sides. Inhale, we open up. Exhale. Roll the arms inward and clasp or bind. Inhale, open the shoulder up. Exhale, you bow into the opposite foot, point the right foot. Inhale, come up to peacock. Exhale, unfold it. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, bend the knee. Coming on down. All right, that is some difficult stuff. I'm inclined to. Okay, let's see if we can put some things together. I feel like maybe I should make this a two-part flow and do it again next time. But let's see if we can put some things together, and then maybe we'll elaborate on the flow next time. I'll try to simplify it right now for us all. So stand at the top of the mat. Real quick, this whole flow without binds looks like when you're here, 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 no need to bind, and then you just pull the knee up like this with both hands or one hand, and then you come on up. Okay, so no need to bind at all if that's not accessible. Most of us, it's probably not accessible, so hold your hand on your knee, okay, or use the strap and which means you're gonna have to pass the strap, and it's gonna finagle, and it's gonna be a little bit of a practice to get that smooth. So come to the front of the mat, soften into Tadasana. Come to chair pose on the inhale. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Right foot steps back, exhale. High lunge, rise, inhale. Open up, warrior two. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, side angle. Hands to the inside. Bow all the way. Take your bind, inhale. Scoop your tailbone as you exhale. Rotate the shoulder back. Inhale, one more breath here. Come back out of it slowly. Shoulder comes forward, look down. Okay, and now drag the back foot forward by leaning forward and maybe tapping if need be, okay? Of course, you can undo the bind or inhale, come up to the best of your ability, or keeping the back toe on the ground, just like this. Okay, slowly place the right foot to the front of the mat, wherever you are, coming on down, and switch. Right arm comes underneath. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, turn the arms internally to grab, clasp, bind however you can. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, roll shoulders forward and look down again. Transition to your left foot. Point your right foot. Inhale, lean into your left. Rise up to peacock. Exhale, start to unfold. Then you could use your hands around your knee. Inhale, lift the heart up. Exhale, start to soften back down. Bend the knee. Take a full inhale as you place the foot down. There it is. Okay. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Rise up. Oh, I realized I pulled my microphone out. Sorry. Inhale, rise up to the sun. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, other side. This time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the modified variations without the binds. Let me see if I can cue the binds without doing the binds. This is going to be interesting. Okay. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Apologize about the sound. Right foot back, exhale. High lunge, inhale, rise. Warrior two. Reverse. Side angle prep. Am I doing the same side? I think so. Apologize, I got too many things on my mind. Come forward and release. I apologize for that. I was like, wait a second, something's wrong here. I got the sound going off over here. Okay, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, bow. Half lift, inhale. Left foot back. Now we go to high lunge. Inhale. Open up. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Now, if you have a strap, you grab the strap and you bring it around. Otherwise, inhale. It's hard to do this without actually clasp the hands. Exhale, scoop the tail. Or don't. Inhale, pull the shoulder back. Okay, now I'm getting there. Exhale, look down and unwind a little bit. So if you're unbound, your hand goes behind the heel. Hand out in front. Inhale or bound, drag forward. Exhale, lift up. Hold, inhale. Exhale. Release. Inhale, open the other side, left hand down, right arm up. Exhale, internally rotate the arms. Grab your clasp or your bind. Inhale, shoulder, top shoulder goes back, turn the chest open. Exhale, unwind a little bit, keeping the clasp. Transition to your right leg, point the left foot. Inhale, pull your heel to bum. Peacock. Exhale, lift the heart. We hold for a breath in as you rise up a little taller. Exhale, take the elevator down. Hold here. Inhale, fingertips, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. All right, that is a challenging flow to teach and do both things. So maybe I'll just demonstrate one side for you just so you have it clean. That you have a clean visual of it for you to practice on your own, okay? So actually I'll demonstrate both sides, but I'm gonna do it a little bit faster than I would like you to breathe just for time's sake, okay? Exhale. Don't do this with me, just watch. Breath is wrong. There it is. Oops. That was not graceful. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale, transition. Get the breath reversed again. This should be an exhale there. I'm totally backwards, but you get the flow. All right. Those are the poses, not the breath. I'm sorry, I messed that up a little bit. I'm gonna do one more time to try not to screw it up for you. You could take pigeon pose right now as you watch so that you can cool down. Okay, let's see if I can get the breath right. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, bow. Halfway lift, inhale. Left foot back. Rise, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle preparation. We take an inhale to internally rotate the arms. Exhale, top shoulder back. Inhale, scoop the tail, open it all the way up. Exhale, we soften, look back down. Transition, inhale. Exhale, find your balance and start to rise. Of course, you could do that all in one if you're a pro. I'm not. Hold for a full breath in. Exhale, left foot next to right. This is where we switch the arms, a nice release, inhale. And we use the exhale to unfold, rewind the arms around the opposite leg. Inhale, shoulder back. Exhale is to look back down and switch your weight to your other foot. Point. Inhale, drag up, peacock. This is now the breath is right. Exhale, open. Inhale, full lift. Exhale, back down. I use an inhale to touch the ground. Inhale, fingertips to the ground. Exhale, bow. Okay, there the breath was correct. If you're on pigeon on one side, pigeon on the other to wind down, but now you have the video Apologize. That was very challenging for me to get the whole thing in there with the correct breaths. It's a very hard flow. Apparently harder to flow and teach than I thought at the same time. So it's a hard flow. It's also a hard flow to modify, but it can be a really enjoyable flow because it opens both the hips and the shoulders. It's advanced, that's for sure. First time I learned, it's not the exact flow. The flow is a little bit longer, but I learned a flow like this when I was early in my career with a teacher back in Manhattan. Scott Herrick was his name. He's a great guy. And he did similar flows where he did all these bound Ardha Chandrasanas and peacocks and all the things, birds of paradise, bound this, bound that. I remember just like, it forced me to be so focused to balance the postures. All right, let's come on to our back. I'm hoping you did both sides of the hip opener. I'm only doing one for the sake of time. My tight side. Happy baby. So what I hope for you is if you take the time to go back and watch that last round, the one where I got the breath right, and just repeat that on both sides, and take time to really focus on the balance. And it's okay if you don't bind or if you use a strap to bind. I'd love to see some of you flow without the bind, also posting it in the Facebook group for us to see. An example of it without the bind being flowed to, okay, and release into your version of Shavasana. Or if you have some skills with the strap of passing it back and forth for yourself, if you practice that, please share that with us so we can see. As this is a very advanced flow, but there are always ways to make it accessible, and also there are ways to empower ourselves to learn and grow from the challenge, yet not dismiss ourselves from it. So to stay in the challenge, but still be able to do it, find ways of doing it. So the strap is one, the unbound variations are another that I really like, as I showed you or tried to. And let your body get heavy. Come back to your breath. Unless you have time to a little luxury time to stay in Shavasana, and you're welcome. Stretch the arms. Roll to your side. Come up to a seated position. Place the palms at heart center. Bowing in with gratitude for this body, the practice that helps us get connected to our physical body that we call yoga. Thank you all so much for being a part of this community, for practicing today, for embracing the intensity of this challenge. Hopefully it wasn't too much for you. And please feel free to ask me any questions. Namaste. All right, everyone. Let's get Let me check the chat real quick. I know some of you had to leave on time because we went overtime. What I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit elements of this flow in the next classes to hopefully clarify some things. Maybe it was a bit ambitious on my part to put all of that in one flow. So I'm going to try to pull some of that out and use pieces of it so that we can I'll make another flow that uses parts of it so that we can get a little more access. In the meantime, let me know how it went for you, if it was really too challenging or if it was fun, or if you liked the challenge, or if you found a way to do it with the strap, or if you did it without the binds and still enjoyed it. Let me know. Very curious how it went. And then post the flow, any version of it, in the Facebook group so